Today I will be demonstrating how to thread the eye of a hand sewing needle. I will be doing it manually, and then I will also be using a tool called a needle threader. I will be demonstrating how to sew on a button, and I will show you or talk about the different types of buttons and show you how to sew on each one. Now let's get started. There are a few supplies that you are going to need. You are going to need your spool of thread, and your thread needs to match the fabric that you are going to be sewing your button on. You also will need a needle threader, which I'm going to demonstrate how to use. You will need a hand sewing needle. You will need a straight pin, or you could also use, for the straight pin, you could use a toothpick. You will need some clippers or scissors, and of course you will need your buttons. Okay, let's get started. Okay, the first thing that you need to know how to do is to cut your thread. Okay, to cut your thread, you will need to take your thread, and the length needs to be approximately from the tip of your nose to the end of your outstretched arm. The reason that you don't want to get any more thread than that is it will get tangled up as you are trying to sew your button on. You also want to cut the thread at an angle that gives it a sharper point before threading the eye of the needle. To thread the eye of your needle, you're going to begin to do it manually by hand. You're going to begin by putting the end of the thread in between your thumb and your index finger, where you barely see the tip of the thread. Then you'll take the eye of the needle, and the eye of the needle is the part that has the hole in it. The opposite end is sharp. You're going to take the eye and slide it down over the top of your thread. Like that. Now, if it's still a little difficult for you to thread or you have sight problems, you can use what is called a needle threader. This is a needle threader. It has a flexible metal bendable object on one end of it. You'll take that bendable object and you will place it through the eye of the needle. Then you will take the end of your thread and thread it through the bendable metal. And pull back, bringing your thread through the eye of the needle. You do want to double the thickness of your thread to sew on a button, so you want to bring the two ends together. That will leave your needle dangling in the center of your thread. Now, to tie a knot can be tied in 3 simple steps. Place the thread, the two ends, in between your thumb and your index finger. Then you're going to wrap the thread around your index finger, bringing the two threads back in between your thumb and index finger. So now you have 4 threads in between your thumb and index finger. Then you're going to roll your index finger back along your thumb, and as you roll your index finger, the thread rolls off and twists. Lay it across the back side of your thumb. Take your middle finger to hold it in place. Release your index finger and pull. So it's wrap, roll, and pull. And you now have a knot.